guys, it's me, Ruowen Huang. This is my first attempt. Try to do it on the video so I can upload it later sometime. But anyway, before I begin, let me start introducing myself. My name is Ruowen Huang. I'm an author, spirit coach, and also a psychic. Today, this episode, I just simply want to answer a couple questions. The question is based on a post that I posted on the Facebook a while ago, mentioning like everybody know I was a sick kid, right? So during the time of my mom staying in Vancouver, I got to ask her why like I was sick most of the time, because all I can remember is I'm always in the hospital, I'm always on IV, or I'm always at home, or for some reason I always cannot go to school, right, at my young age. So sure enough, when I was asking my mom, so mom, exactly what disease do I have that, made me staying at home a whole time? My mom, out of my expectation, my mom actually tell me, well, in our generation, we call you this type of kids, my type of kids, it's called sensitive, they're super sensitive kids, right? The reason of that is, she say, if there's a funeral nearby, I will have a fever. If there's a wedding celebration, I will have fever. If there's some God celebration, God walk by or say God touch my face, I'll have a fever. Or even people who start building the house, I will have a fever. So you know what I mean, right? I try to convince myself to be a logical person. So when you hear that kind of explanation for why I spend most of my time most of my childhood in the hospital, I was a little bit, shocked, right? Because I thought it must be some kind of disease. That's why I'm always in the hospital. Enough that even I remember it till this very last day, right? This day. So sure enough, when my mom said that, I put a post on the internet saying, I cannot believe this is the answer I got. I thought they'd probably tell me that, I got some super rare disease or something. So sure enough, I do a little rant on my Facebook, and then there comes all kind of question, right? Because obviously this is a common thing in Asia, and I did notice it was more a common things in Asia, which I also see in Western country, North America country, but just people have a different explanation for it, and usually go away within a day or two. So therefore, they think they probably catch a flu or something, right? But now, in regard to that post, I got a lot of people asking me questions, and here I'm gonna sum it up very basic one, like why it seems to only happen in Asia. That it doesn't only just happen in Asia. It just seems more obvious and stand out more in Asia. I also see the case it happen in North American country. It just a lot of time people have different definition to it, or a lot of time they just carry it home, and since the fever go away within a day, therefore they don't think about it. So it's to answer your question, it doesn't just happen in Asia. It does happen at least every country that I kind of go to or had encounter with children or adult sometime, right? But I believe the reason it happened more in Asia is also because, refer to my previous episode, power of thought also have a big contribution to it, right? Once a country, a city, or environment believes something is real, the chances you will see more evidence of that happening before your eyes, or you will collect more evidence to see or to validate what you believe is real. So I believe that is the case. And then second question is ask me why it seems to always be a fever. You know what I mean? Like why does people dealing with spiritual thing, it always seems to be fever, but nothing else, right? First, you will have different people will have different symptoms, right? The people who have a stronger immune system as a spirit, they will probably just be dealing with discomfort, a little bit headache, a little bit dizziness or something. It just only when it's fever that require medical attention, that's when we pay extra attention to it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, a lot of time, a little bit dizziness, we lie down, sit there for a little bit and you go away, then we are okay with it. We don't even, discuss about it. So to answer your question, it's not just fever. It it could be all kind of symptoms. It depends on each individual's build and how they handle, how strong they are dealing with, spiritual intruder, I call. So the reason you will see fever a lot is very basic sense. Basically, you all know when you are normal body, when you have some foreign virus intrude your body, right? Your body will have a fever because it's trying its best to fight against that. That is exactly the same thing when it comes to spiritual world. When it comes to spiritual world, let's say, assuming you as a soul individual have this very balanced frequency all the time, and all of a sudden you got different spirits with different vibe that's intruding your space or your diameter, right? Parameter. So what happened is your energy will try really hard to work it, to fight against it, or to evaluate it, whether it's good, it's bad, or if you can adapting it. Therefore, your body will react simply in the same, like you are dealing with some kind of virus. So yes, when people start become more aware of their surrounding or aware their energy and all that, they will start to treat those kind of energy, which is different from their energy, as almost a virus too, or sometimes just foreign object intruding you, right? So that's why you will see fever seems to be very common disease or reaction to that, right? So usually, as I say, when we're dealing with a spirituality intruder, the fever never lasts too long. Usually lasts between 1 day, 2-3 days. It depends on how big of a reaction you create within your own, spiritual parameter, right? So if the bigger influence you create, the longer the fever you will have. But really, it never really lasts longer than 3 days. Okay, so usually about 1 day. Sometimes the vibration is not so bad. You're adapting really fast. As I say, you may not even have a fever. You just feel a little bit discomfort. You might have a little bit dizziness, or you might have a little bit, So it happened a lot to the children. Is because they too, as I said before, they are adapting this body. Their soul is trying to get used to this body. They cannot really manage their own energy well yet. Therefore, when they're dealing with a foreign intruder like that, they will have instant fever because they are not familiar of that, or how to deal with that, or their body is simply don't have enough immune system to deal with that. Yeah. So anyway, I hope that answered that question. The third question to that is, if you happen to have a child like that, how do you handle that? Well, I feel for you, really, because I can only imagine how the person looking after me, like when I was kids, right? But in regard of these questions, myself, I have very sensitive kids. So they were like that when they were kids too. And also my sister's kids are sensitive too. So they will often deal with fever that they simply cannot find out why, like what's the cause of it. So they too were a lot of times spending in the hospital, on the emergency room, on IV, because doctors simply cannot find out why they have fever. So if you happen to have a kids like this, that is so sensitive to the environment that you do not know how you can cope with it, what I'm saying is, refer to the previous episode. You as a house owner who managing or control the energy of the household, right? Usually it's parents, usually mom or dad, one of you or both of you. So when you have the sensitive kids, right, it's very important as you as a parent who is also aware of the energy, or if you are not aware of the energy, at least you can find a way to balance the energy. You know what I mean? Find a way to clean out the energy. Understand the energy in the house may not be clean right now. There's a way to balance it out, or whatever you do, meditation or purification, or whatever way you would do to make your house in a clean energy as a host of the house. That would be very important for you to do if you too raise a very sensitive kids. Of course, not every parents are born sensitive like me, right? So what do you do is, I would suggest from the previous episode, if you do the aromatherapies or air diffuser or some kind of incense or things like that to simply purify the energy in the house, and then observe your kids if the fever continue, usually if you clean it, that should their symptoms, believe it or not, should feel better. You know what I mean? They should get better. If you do that and then their symptoms get better, then you will know it's really caused by virus or it's simply caused by spiritual intruder. Another way, very important, I'll teach you guys to teach your kids really, because I always believe it only takes us to protect ourselves, right? So that's a skill you will teach your kids. I taught you guys how to breathe. That is, breathe with your nose and breathe out with your mouth. Very slowly, as slow as you can, right? So when your children is dealing with headache, dizziness, or not even to the fever yet, or sometimes they can start feeling the whole body, limpy or no energy, right? They don't know what caused it. Very important is at this moment, aside from the air diffuser or aromatherapy or things like that, believe, remember using the wood base. So it always, at this situation, it always work better than lavender or sage. It actually, wood base will actually work better to purify your space energy. So if you put that aside, I teach your kids how to focusing on breathing. Usually, if you can teach them to do 5 sets of breathing, that is, breathe through your nose and breathe out from your mouth. If after 5 sets of concentrate breathing exercise, and then their symptom does seems better, the chances their fever or their discomfort is caused by those spiritual influence. If it doesn't seem to get any better, the chances is it will require medical attention, that may get a virus, or they might simply get stomach flu or something. So anyway, for those of parents who are not sure how to tell whether your kids is influenced by actual virus or the simply spiritual influence, that is a good way you guys can test on. Again, if you do 5 sets of breathing and the symptoms seems to get better, the chances they could be influenced by the spirituality, different vibration, different thing, it could be anything. But if it continues, symptom continue, the chances they could really get sick. It does happen. Anyway, just here quickly share with you guys for and also answer your question. For you all who happen to have sensitive kids, I know not easy to raise them, but there's always a way. I hope this will give you a little bit tip to handle them. So again, if you like what I'm doing, you can always join me live on Facebook, or go to subscribe my YouTube channel, or go to my website ruowen.com. Till then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.